So, of course, as soon as I wanted to start making my Venus video, my phone's ringing off the hook. I'm getting all types of messages and what have you. So, wait, let me close my door. And let's talk about Venus in your natal chart. What is your natal chart? Your natal chart is the blueprint of your life, right? I don't care if you believe in astrology, you don't believe in astrology, science is science. I like to go by, nowadays I go by my experience with people. So I like to go by my own experience because it just seems to be a little more, let me turn this down. Oh my gosh, hold on guys. Wait. I'm sorry. This is somebody who's supposed to be coming by now. Okay, so yes, I like to go by my experiences. Because yes, we can go and we can study astrology, of course, but it's nothing like being able to... Okay, being able to have your own experiences to base your interactions with people on. Okay, I'm sorry. So, natal chart. Your natal chart, you can always go and look at Cafe Astrology. Or if if you know all the symbols and whatnot, you can definitely go to Astro Theme, or I can't think of the other one right now. But I don't know like the aspect symbols, so I love to go to Cafe Astrology off the bat. If you do go to, it's not Astro Theme, it's astro.com. I can't remember which one it is, but I'll post it. But if you do go to one of the sites, I'm going to put where you'll go to whole signs. My mom has studied astrology for years. I mean, like literally, I swear she had thousands of books, or at least hundreds of books on astrology. And my grandfather always used to be like, "What are you doing with all those?" And so she teaches me little things, and I've learned over the years. But she uses, I think it's astro.com, and she goes to whole houses, so she reads them by whole houses. So today's video is about Venus in a natal chart. Hey, Fa. Hi, Miss Joanne. Thank you all for tuning in. So this video is going to be kind of brief. I was kind of sitting with this Venus video for a minute. So I made some little notes because I'm kind of forgetful. And when I feel like I don't have enough info, I definitely like to have notes. So, okay, what is Venus? So just overall, Venus is how we love. It is the things we love in a sense. Or I want to say the things that are luxurious to us. It's how we love. Venus rules the second and seventh house. Yeah, second and seventh house, which is, well, not the house. It rules the signs of Taurus and Libra. So it's dual ownership of Taurus and Libra. It relates to love and money, harmony, our emotional attachments, our pleasures shared with others, all things that are beautiful or that we find beautiful, right? It's also our indulgences. Let's see what else I have here. It's what attracts us to others, how we appreciate others, right? And so, let's see. Yeah, and how we value others. So basically, Venus in your natal chart is how you love. It would also relate to the types of, I want to say kind of like maybe the industry we work in or how we attain our wealth. For example, I have Venus. Okay, so let me say this. So how does this apply to everybody's everyday life, right? We all love. So you know how you can say, all right, well, for example, I deal with a Cancer. I'm a fire sign, right? I am an Aries. He is water. So we can constantly put each other out, right? We can light each other back up, put each other out. So we can't always go by our sun signs, right? Because a person is not just their sun sign. They are the entire makeup of their chart. Your moon, I call it the top three. Your sun, your moon, your rising, right? Because your rising, as I said in the other video, your rising is how you come off to others. And you need your birth time for that. Your moon, you can find out without your birth time, but your moon is your emotions. It is how you think, how you feel. It is the inner you. It is the person that not everyone gets to see. It is the intimate you. And your sun sign is your personality, your ego, the one that wants to be fed, and your characteristics and what have you. So Venus. Venus is how we love others. So we want to look at our Venus signs when we are looking at our mates, right? We really want to look at their, I would say their moon and their Venus. So, as I was saying, for my relationship, I am a double Aries. He is a double Cancer. He has Cancer rising, Cancer sun. I have Aries rising, Aries sun. Where we really meet in the middle is the way we love. We both actually have moon and Virgo. Yeah, we're both Virgo moons. But even though we are and think a lot alike, we show it differently, right? He shows his more in a Cancer way. I show mine more in an Arian way. So when it comes to Venus, he has Venus in Cancer. That's how he loves. I have Venus in Taurus. Now that, I know somebody is not knocking on my door. Elijah! I know somebody's not knocking on my door at this hour. So nevertheless, Venus. So I have, like I said, Venus in Taurus. He has Venus in Cancer. So that's a little more complimenting, right? Because we have an Earth, which is my Taurus, in Venus. And then he has his Cancer in Venus. So, oh, I know who that is. Hold on, guys. 1 second. My bad. I'm not even going to tell y'all. Like, that was somebody from me. Yet I'm calling Elijah because I'm thinking that he's got one of his random friends. But anyway, so Taurus. Taurus in the Taurus and Venus. Cancer and Venus. That is how we show each other love. I mean, pretty much in a nutshell, one could say, when you're looking at somebody's Venus sign, what are the attributes or the characteristics thereof that sign? So, for example, you want to run from what? Unless you are sort of airy. The last individual I was dealing with, he had Venus in Aquarius, and then it was all in his relationship house. I don't want anybody who has Venus in Aquarius, because you're going to get a couple of things. This is how the person loves. What are the attributes or the characteristics thereof in Aquarius? Very detached, not really into children so much. Here and there you will find maybe an Aquarius woman that might have a couple of children, but they're really not into children. They're really about self. They tend to be very level-headed. They're not really wants to dabble in drinking and drugs and whatnot. But the one main thing is that they don't have what society would call a socially normal relationship a lot of the time. Either they are married and they're across the world half the time, or, they're working in a job where they're all over the place. So let's just take that. Or they have an unusual relationship, which means that threesomes, foursomes, orgies, it's just going to be something random. Same sex, it'll be something random like that. So you take that, right? If somebody's Venus is in Aquarius, have fun. I don't want anything to do with that. So that is how we pretty much, that's a simple way to read our Venus sign. So we're, my lover and I, we have a meeting of the hearts, right? Of how we love. And so what is Cancer? Cancer is a water sign. Not Aries. Cancer is a water sign. Taurus being an earth sign. So he pretty much waters my earth, right? The way he loves kind of comforts me. So what is Cancer? What is Cancer in love? Or the way a Cancer would love? They like to show a lot of, well, I've had quite a few Cancers. Fancers. They like to show a lot of their love through food, which is great for a Venus in Taurus, because what is Taurus all about? Taurus is about touch, taste, sound, smelling, the five senses. What are they? Feeling, tasting, smelling, seeing. I hope I did all three. So for me, if you meet any Taurus men, regular sun sign Taurus men, a lot of the time they love to cook. With my Venus in Taurus, I do love to cook. Do I cook all the time? No. But trying to stick to topic. So a Cancer, they love the home, right? They love to do things within the home. They like to hang out at home. They'd rather watch a movie a lot of the time. But don't get it twisted. Cancers have a lot of friends, right? So they may show you their love. They will show you their Venus. Somebody who has a Venus in Cancer, they may show you their love by cooking for you, by helping you clean your house, or doing the task around the house that you don't necessarily like to do. I would think that maybe a Venus in Virgo would do that as well, but they might be a little more nitpicky. But definitely Cancer will show through food, and also bringing you around their friends. And they will talk a lot about you to their friends. Now, I'm kind of stuck on my own, even though I have Venus in Taurus. I guess it's kind of hard for me to see. But what will I do for you? You know what? I do like a lot of touch, taste, the sense related things, right? If I get you a gift, it's going to be the most beautiful gift. This is how I'm showing my love, right? It's going to be the most amazing gift. If I cook for you, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to make sure that the meal is perfect. So I will utilize all of those things and show forth that to my lover. I'm also a very dedicated lover. I'm very loyal, almost to a fault. And I always say Taurus women, right? Because remember, I'm talking about my Venus being in Taurus, and it's in my second house. So let me sum up that thought, and then I'll go on to the next thing, because I was going to talk about Venus pertaining to work. So yes, with Taurus women, I always say Taurus women, you know how they say that Aries women are really intense and like crazy? It's not that we're crazy, we're passionate. And how we may stay in relationships that we necessarily shouldn't. Taurus women, but we act crazy at the same time. Taurus women are very subdued, but they will take a lot of bullshit entirely too long. So I want to say that yes, I can stay in relationships, or I have, because that is the past. I have stayed in relationships that I probably should have cut short due to my loyalty and foolishness at the same time. So I'm just saying those attributes and characteristics relate to their a Taurus, or the sign of Taurus. I'm sorry, I don't want to really mess with the volume on my computer, because I'm not sure it's going to mess with my volume recording. So that is so I'm just using myself an example with how my Venus works, or how I can see my own Venus working when it comes to love, as well as my lover, my partner, and his being in Cancer. Okay, so also when we talk about the second house, right? Since Venus rules the second house, because it's ruling the sign there of that house. So what is in the second house? Taurus is home in the second house, and Taurus is being ruled by Venus. So my Venus is at home in Taurus in the second house. So your second house is how you attain your wealth, or the support that you're given in obtaining your wealth. And so I got to say that the coolest thing about it is, what do I absolutely love? Fashion, right? And I can remember being a little girl. I had to be like maybe, I swear, 3-4 years old. I couldn't have even been 4, because I remember certain things. So I remember being in department stores, and here I am in every store, especially when we go to the lingerie department. I am feeling on the fabrics. I want to touch everything. With my Nana, I always just like rub on her ears. when it comes to, well, what I was saying about the clothing is that, and until this day, when I'm at work, I'm touching on fabrics. I do visual merchandising outside of the substitute teaching. So, and then I'm all about details, right? So, I like all things that are beautiful, right? Visually appealing. We're still talking about Venus in the second house and how it applies to you obtaining your wealth. I know I get a little sidetracked because I was going into the whole 5 sense thing, like wanting to touch, smell, that sort of thing. And that's why I threw my Nana in there. So like wanting to touch, wanting to smell, all those things. But when it comes to my work, it comes down to like the fabrics and everything. So there's certain houses that you can look at in your chart in which you can find, okay, maybe I'm not sure about what I should be doing. Well, let me look at my second house. Let me look at my second, my 6th, my 10th. 2nd, 6th, 10th, and there's another one. But those 3, you can kind of combine those 3 and you'll be able to see what or where you should be. But I just think it's kind of interesting how that Taurus plays a part in my second house and how I attain my wealth. But there's also other things that the second house means as well, which we're not talking about right now. I'm trying to stick to topic, which is very hard for me, Venus. But then we can also look at, and we're also talking about love, the 7th house, right? So your 7th house is your relationships. Oh, good night, Miss Aoife. 7th house is about your relationships and not always partnerships, meaning not always business relationships, but that also applies to love. It can. I mean, I absolutely hate Libras. That's the 7th house for me. It's the 7th house from your sun. A lot of times they say that this is the type of energy or the planets that are in that house is who you're pulling in love-wise. But I just wanted to say or mention that because we're talking about Venus, and Venus rules the 2nd and the 7th house. It's actually the ruler thereof, the signs, the zodiac signs that are in the 2nd and 7th house. Libra also pertains to beauty, justice, and a few other things. But if you notice, Libra women, okay, when we're talking about love, me and my homegirl Cassandra we're looking at various women in industry, women who are married to sports players, right? So I know we looked at a couple of charts, and we looked at LeBron James' wife. Even if we know that somebody's married, because we're both Aries, right? And when we find out somebody's married, we're like, okay, let's look at their chart. It never fucking fails. Either they have Venus in Libra, their sun is in Libra, their rising sign is in Libra, or they got a ton of Libra energy in their chart. I fucking hate Libras, right? But all things considered, they're winning when it comes to marriage. And they tend to be in fields in which they are utilizing beauty or their own beauty, or they're doing someone's makeup. And guess what? Kim Kardashian, she's a Libra, right? Libras lie a lot too. But I don't know what it is. They've got that love thing on deck, and maybe it's because they're ruled by Venus. And that is also related to Aphrodite, or I don't know the correct pronunciation, but all things beautiful, right? And then Venus is also about how we give and how we share, and the way that we give and share. So that is my Venus video, everyone. I'm sorry about the little Z back, and having to dip on y'all real quick to go answer the door. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to know what your Venus is, like I said, you can go to Cafe Astrology. I think it's astro.com. If you go to astro.com, you just want to look up your natal chart. And if you don't know how to do that, yeah, you may not want to go to astro.com if you don't know anything about charts. But Cafe Astrology, and then you go to natal charts. So you go to their home page. You can click on natal charts, put in your time of birth. If you don't have your time of birth, you can see half of your chart. You can see where all the planets were at the time of your birth. But you cannot see the houses in which they're placed in if you don't know your birth time. Or astro dentist, but again, the good thing with, is it astro dentist? Astro theme, not astro dentist. Astro theme, the good thing about it is that once you do your natal chart, but it's kind of hard to find on that site, but once you do it on that site, when you have the chart, you can click on the different areas and it will tell you. But I think if you are a beginner and you have no idea, that half of this sounds like gibberish to you, cafe astrology. Put in your information. You need to know the town that you were born in, because versus whether you were born in Asia or here, the time of day is going to affect where the stars and planets were and how they were aligned and how they are going to affect you. Or you can get a natal chart from me, or I can give, if you'd like, as a courtesy, I will look at your chart quickly and tell you where your Venus is. But if you want your chart read, you can go to my Paradox Astrology page. You can inbox me. My natal chart readings are $22. But as I said, I will do the Venus as a courtesy from now until about Friday. What else? I also do synastry charts, which I line yours up. I line your chart up with your partner's chart. And we can look at, how you guys get along, where you might need to tweak things, why they act the way they act. It's a lot of different things you can see in the natal chart. Or how you can avoid, or what to look for. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know somebody, like I said, Aquarius, right? Let's talk about Venus in Aquarius or Aquarius moon, because those are both related to emotions or love. If we know that this person has Venus in Aquarius in the 7th house, we know that Negro is probably not going to be grounded or loyal anytime soon. Or if they have Sag in their 7th house. Certain things like that we can see, and then we know how to deal with that individual. Do we give them space? Do we play them close? So those are the kind of things that you can see in a synastry chart. Also, there's other ways I can see where the point of your relationship, if you are married, I can even look at a different type of chart, which is a D9 chart, and we can open that up and see what the purpose of you being together is and that sort of thing. And then that way you're focusing. And if you're not married, if you are in a very close long-term relationship, we can look at why you're together. And then that way you can focus on those things and make the best of it. So I appreciate everybody watching and tuning in. I'm sorry about the gibberish. I'm a little OCD. I was afraid I did not have enough information for this Venus video, but there you go. If you have any questions, please do either inbox me or what else. I'll have a number for you guys soon to call me on. Also, I'm still doing tarot readings. Tarot readings are only... I'm sorry. I said that my natal chart... I knew there was something wrong when I said natal charts. My natal charts are $33. And you can go to the Paradox Astrology page and you can see what you get. It's a lot of information. This is not something that I'm just pulling up and I'm looking at for 2 seconds. It's the type of thing that you have to sit with. My tarot readings are $22. Every once in a blue, I'll be doing a free question. I'm no longer doing free readings. I believe I took that off of my Paradox Astrology page. I will only do it as a special. And I will make you guys well aware at that time that I am doing them. Maybe sometime on the weekend this weekend. But, and that's about it. So, $22 for tarot readings. And they are with tarot cards. $33 for natal chart readings. I will do your Venus. Look at your chart to tell you where your Venus is. And if you want a synastry reading, which is you and your partner's chart, those are $44, but normally $50-something. I think it was at $55. I think I had them as $55. But right now they are on special for $44. And those are looking at 2 different charts. Okay? You and your partners. And you know, going back to what I said a few seconds ago and how to deal with them. All right, so everybody have a good night. I'm glad I finally did this Venus video and got it out of the way. All right, bye.